All right, and we are back. This is NHL 20 Franchise Mode Calgary Flames. This is episode number 35. Yes, welcome back to our Franchise Mode. I was unsure what episode it was there. It is episode 35. Welcome back to our Franchise Mode, and welcome back to the 2023 calendar year and the 2023-2024 regular season. This is our fifth full season as a GM here of the Calgary Flames. Yes, this is our fifth year. I can't believe it. It definitely doesn't seem like we've been at it that long, but I guess we're 35 episodes in and still trying to win a Stanley Cup with this team that we probably easily could have won a cup by now, but obviously, as we know, it's not that easy in this game, but also especially in real life. But last year was quite a step back for the Calgary Flames. We kind of really realized that because the first 4 years the first 3 years were actually not bad. We saw slow progression every year. We made it to the second round in our first 2 years, made it to the Western Conference Finals in our third year. But then last year we took a massive step back. We didn't even make the Stanley Cup playoffs. It was by far the worst year in the Flames franchise history in at least the last 10 years. It was just such a bad year all around. But we kind of renovated ourselves here in the off season. We kind of retooled our team, if you will. And I feel like we're going to get ourselves back on track here in a year that we can definitely now win the Stanley Cup after what happened in the last episode. And as you can probably see him there on the main screen here. Lots to get into as we're going to start the regular season. This episode, what we're going to do is we're just going to skip the preseason and the training camp. Obviously, I like to do that every year for guys that are fighting for the team. But I kind of just went and looked at our lines, and there's not too many guys. I think there's just a couple guys on the blue line that could possibly be, in the American League that could possibly make our NHL team. But it's not a big deal, so I think we're going to just skip it for this year. So basically, I went ahead and edited our lines here for opening day. Got everything here in place. So we'll take a look at that now, and then we'll just skip through the preseason. But let's take a look at our opening day roster now with the Calgary Flames. Like I said, obviously a bit of change happened in the offseason. The most notable one there is your number one center, Nathan MacKinnon, now a member of the Calgary Flames. Again, if you missed episode 34, definitely go check it out. Definitely an insane episode. Probably the biggest signing. I listed it as the title, but it's probably the biggest signing and probably the most exciting signing in Calgary Flames franchise history. And I know that's a pretty bold statement to make now that this organization is about, almost 50 years old, or maybe is 50 years old. I don't even know what year we're in right now, but it's either way, the Flames organization is close to the 50-year anniversary mark. And obviously, I mean, it's kind of hard to say to go back and look at all those years, but you can definitely make a case that Nathan MacKinnon is probably the biggest and most impactful and most exciting signing in franchise history. Again, you look at players like Iginla, who was traded to this team, Kiprusoff, who was traded to this team, Johnny Gaudreau, Sean Monahan drafted to this team. So we're talking about guys that actually signed to come to the Calgary Flames. And definitely in recent years, going back at least till the 80s, this was definitely the biggest signing in the franchise history. Because Calgary didn't do much in the 90s. We know in the early 2000s, the Iginla era there, and then obviously the last couple decades with the team that we have with the Johnny Gaudreau era and stuff like that. So there's no doubt about it. Nathan MacKinnon, probably the biggest and most exciting signing. Again, it was a massive signing for us. 94 overall, franchise player. This guy is just coming off back-to-back Western Conference Final titles and a Stanley Cup championship just 2 years ago. As well as won the Conn Smythe Trophy. A guy that, like we said, puts up 90 points per season with the Colorado Avalanche. We're not going to go into stats. I'll just show you really quickly here because we did that in the last episode. But about 90 to 100 points per season. Almost hit 50 goals the last couple of years. Still just 28 years of age, so still in his prime. Did some insane things in the Stanley Cup playoffs as well. When you look at his playoff stats, is really one of those players that elevates his game to a completely new level in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I was thinking about it at the end of the last episode. This guy reminds me a lot, in terms of basketball terms, of a guy like Kawhi Leonard. This is that, and what he can do to our team is going to be similar to what, maybe what Kawhi did with the Toronto Raptors. We had a good enough team before we got MacKinnon, but this is going to be the piece that gets us over the top. This is the only guy on this roster that's won a Stanley Cup before. When you look at this group of forwards, none of these players have won a Stanley Cup before on this team. I don't think actually anybody on our team's won a Stanley Cup other than Jordan Binnington, who's in goal. I'm just trying to think. I don't think anybody here has won a Stanley Cup. So, I mean, this guy is just like Kawhi Leonard. Leonard won, a championship in San Antonio before he came to the Raptors, then came to the Toronto Raptors. In the first season he was with Toronto, only season he was with Toronto, excuse me. He leads them to the championship. They were a good enough team before they had Kawhi Leonard, but obviously he was that piece that put them over the top. But especially when it came to the postseason, the things that Kawhi did in the postseason, is basically a huge reason why they went on to win the NBA title. And I could see that happening a lot here with Nathan MacKinnon, or very similar. If we can get there and win, I could see MacKinnon winning the Conn Smythe just like Kawhi won the MVP there of the playoffs. I could see Nathan MacKinnon winning another Conn Smythe and leading us. Now, don't sleep on Johnny Gaudreau, Sean Monahan. We have a lot of good players on this team, but there's no doubt about it. McKinnon's by far our best player, and can be that piece to put us over the top. So massive add in the offseason. Like I said, probably the biggest signing in franchise history. It wasn't easy, but we went out and got him. We also put him to a quite expensive contract. I think we got him for, 12.3? Yeah, $12.3 million per year for 7 years. I mean, probably the highest paid signing as well in franchise history, no doubt about it. So, that was a big ad there. Just taking a quick look here at your opening day roster. Johnny Gaudreau is going to start on the line with Nathan MacKinnon, and we're going to start Elias Lindholm there. Now that we made some changes again, go back and watch episode 34. Highly recommend it, but we did ship out a couple, key players from our top 6 the last couple of years. You'll notice their names not here. Michael Backlund and Andrew Mangiapane. We unfortunately had to trade both of them. We went out and started trading Mangiapane. I think we shipped him to Boston. That was a guy that put up almost 30 to 40 goals for us the last couple seasons. Actually, I think he only got around 30 goals the last couple seasons, but there was one year he almost put 40 goals for us. He really turned into an elite player for us, really grew into a good player. He was a homegrown, draft pick of the Calgary Flames. We gave him top 6 minutes, and he really elevated his game. And, it was obviously disappointing to see Andrew Mangiapane leave the Calgary Flames, but we had to start clearing space. I think he was making about $6.7 million a year, on a bridge contract. We had to clear space. And then when we went and got MacKinnon, what happened is they did an auto sign here on Dylan Dubé, who was an RFA. So what I did is I had 2 episodes back, I qualified Dylan Dubé because I wanted to sign MacKinnon first, or whoever we were going to sign in free agency, and then go and make a contract offer with the money that we had left for Dylan Dubé. But what happened is after we made our offer for MacKinnon for the 12.3 for 7 years, before MacKinnon accepted it, they went and signed the computer went and signed Dylan Dubé to this contract, which is not bad. 1 year at 3.1, but still, that was $3.1 million. That was now not able to go to MacKinnon. So again, hard to explain. You have to go back and watch in the last episode. But basically, we made an offer to MacKinnon, and then they went and signed Dubé, and then we all of a sudden didn't have enough money for MacKinnon. So what basically would have happened is if MacKinnon accepted the offer, which he eventually did, we wouldn't have been able to sign him because we just wasted $3 million going to Dylan Dubé. So what I had to do is I had to trade some kind of salary out in order to allow MacKinnon to still come to the Flames if he wanted to, as he was still going through his offers. So we were forced to ship Michael Backlund out. The only reason I did that is because Backlund is a centerman, and I knew that if we did get MacKinnon, we would still be pretty deep down the middle. Again, Elias Lindholm, Max Domi both play center as well. So we're still pretty deep down the middle with MacKinnon, Monahan, Dubé, and then these 2 guys who can easily shift to the middle as well. It was kind of a no-brainer, as well as Michael Backlund was 30-some years old, 33, 34, I think. Yes, he has played his entire career with the Calgary Flames. Really hard to see, a guy like Michael Backlund go. And a guy that played really well for us in the last couple years, too. In a bottom 6 role, too. He mostly played on this third line. And the thing that Backlund was doing the last few years, there was points where Backlund was by far our best player the last couple of years. And that's insane to think about because, like I said, he was mid-30s. He was only getting third-line minutes at most. Sure, he was playing a few games in our second line there, but mostly he was playing in our bottom 6, and he was still producing. So I really hated to let go of Michael Backlund, but we did get a really good return for him. We traded him to the Washington Capitals, got a first-round pick and a second-round pick back from Michael Backlund. That's a huge haul, for a veteran player that, was eventually going to decline, and, we would have eventually had to get rid of, or probably not re-sign him whenever his contract was up. So, long story short, it was hard to let go of Michael Backlund, but we had to clear up that salary cap space that Backlund was making. We did that, and then eventually, as it happened, McKinnon did accept the offer, came to the Calgary Flames. So it was a huge, crazy episode. We shipped up Mangiapane, shipped up Michael Backlund, brought in Nathan McKinnon, brought back Dylan Dubé, who can easily replace Michael Backlund. He's now in 84. I think Michael Backlund was in 84 and 83 the last few years. I knew that Dubé at 25 years of age was going to step it up, and grow, and he's definitely done that. So he's now definitely an elite third-line center. I wouldn't say he's top 6 minutes just yet, but Dylan Dubé is definitely capable now of anchoring our bottom 6. You look at our bottom 6 players here. Dylan Dubé is by far our best player. He is another homegrown draft pick, Cochrane native. Definitely good to see him stick with the Calgary Flames and anchor our third line. Only other moves we made is we brought in Michael Bodker, brought back Sam Bennett two episodes ago. Had to bring in Michael Bodker. I tried to just find a really cheap third-line right winger. Ended up we had to overpay to get Bodker. It really sucked. I think we paid him 2.5, which I consider an overpay for a third liner for 3 years. 81. I'm not happy with that signing, but at the end of the day, we needed something to fill that hole because there was a hole there, and we were getting close to. I think I did it off camera, but we were getting close to the end of free agency, and there was a lot of. I tried a lot of different players, and a lot of them declined because they wanted a lot more money. So at the end of the day, this is the best I could get for a third line. So we'll try Michael Bodker. This will be his Calgary Flames debut this season. Fourth line's pretty much the same as it was last year. Scott Wilson, Matthew Phillips, who does improve to an 81. Nick Shore. They're not going to get a lot of ice time, I don't think. I would hope that our coach rose this top 6 more. Again, we have a new coach as of last year. You'll remember, last season was such a bad season, especially in November, that we had to eventually go out and fire our coaches early in the season in November. Our entire coaching staff brought in a new coaching unit, and we saw progress, we saw improvement, after the coaching change, but we just really couldn't catch up the rest of the season, it cost us. So hang on a second here. Ooh. All right. Okay. When we come to our defensive core here, pretty much the same defense as last year. Really didn't touch this at all. Hanifin, Valimaki, Anderson, Manson, Shillington, and Forsling. Yeah, we didn't touch this at all. Really like our top 4. The whole reason I didn't touch this is because I really, really like this top 4. First of all, and most notable, is we can put our elite pairing of Hanifin and Valimaki back together. We had to split these two up in November of last year after we were pretty much dead last in the NHL. We had such a bad month of November that we really saw ourselves sink to the bottom of the standings, and it was just, like I said, we just really couldn't climb out of it, for the rest of the season. But what we had to do, because we were having such a bad stretch, was we had to split these two up, and they were by far having an insane season. Like, they were in the pluses, they were putting up points. It was our bottom 2 pairings that were not doing anything at all, that were actually costing our team. So we had to split Hanifin and Valimaki up. We had to put, I think we basically did this. I think we had Brand Anderson up there with Hanifin, Valimaki down here with whoever it was at the time. I think it was Nicholas Jarmerson. So basically that's what we did last year. But we had to split these two up after they were having such a good season together. To start, they were like the one bright spot of our entire team. Last year up until that point, was Hanifin and Valimaki. They were just so good together, so we can finally put them back together. Hopefully they can click like they did last year and be that elite top pairing in the NHL. I like this pairing as well as Manston and Anderson. Like I said, Nicholas Jarmerson was not the right fit for our team last year, unfortunately. But we replaced him with Josh Manson. Again, we traded for this guy in November, December, brought him in. He's a defensive defenseman. He's a shutdown guy. Really like what he did, and he played good for our team. And the rest of the way through. Let's just take a look at his stats here. I can't remember what he did, but he came over to us, played 41 games last year, plus 16. That's all you can ask for. Again, he's not an offensive guy. 7 points. That's all you're going to expect out of this guy. he's coming in to be a shutdown guy for us, and that's what he did. He turned our season around with us, with our team, and really anchored that second pairing here. Rasmus Anderson's a nice fit there as well. Still a good second line pairing guy, and then you got Shillington and Forsling down here. Again, bottom pairing. You're not going to see much out of them, but yeah, I like our defensive core now that we've got it back to the way it should be. And again, really haven't touched it since the end of last year. Just really quickly go through this because, again, this is, like I said, this will be our opening day roster. We're going to skip the preseason and the training camp, but this is what our opening day roster will look like. They kind of did this, the power play units, so I think we're going to try everything as of now. We'll gauge our special teams as we go, see what we got, but I like this. I mean, obviously, how can you not like this? Monahan, McKinnon, Lindholm, Hanifin, and Gaudreau. What a stacked top unit. I mean, Jesus Christ, that is stacked. Second unit looks like this: Tkachuk, Domi, Dubé, Anderson, Valimaki. You could argue that maybe a Domi or even Tkachuk should be on that top unit instead of Lindholm. But what this does is it really spreads out our offense. We still stack our top unit. Like we have Monahan, McKinnon, Gaudreau on our top unit. Hanifin. I mean, it's still very stacked. But we also have some really, really good players on this second unit as well. So I definitely like that. It's kind of a more spread out power play, but still stacking our top unit in a way. We'll try that again. It looks good on paper. It could be absolutely shit though when we get to the simming. We might have to switch things up. So we'll start with this. Most of our lines are now going to look like this now that McKinnon is playing with Gaudreau. Again, I talked about in the last episode, Johnny Gaudreau, Sean Monahan have had insane chemistry their whole careers. But last year, they just weren't clicking. So this year, what we're going to do is we're going to try McKinnon with Johnny Gaudreau, not only on that top line, but in all, basically all line situations. Again, if it's not working, we have the ability to put Monahan back with Gaudreau. But right now, we'll start with McKinnon, Johnny, Monahan again, Lindholm. Again, we're just starting with Lindholm on that side there. Again, if Lindholm's not having a good start to this season, you'll notice Lindholm's in a lot of line situations. We can easily throw in Tkachuk. We can easily throw in Domi. They're all 86, all three of them. And they're now all permanent wingers with the addition of Nathan McKinnon. Again, if you went back to our our starting line with the addition of Nathan McKinnon here. Let's get to offense. You can see now, I mean, we're pretty much permanent down the middle. Whereas before we had McKinnon, we really didn't know who our second line center was. Like Monahan was our top center, but we didn't know if Domi was our second line center, if Backlund was our second line center, if Lindholm at some point was our second line center. Now it's pretty established. We have McKinnon, who is no doubt top center. We have Monahan, who is no doubt second line center. I mean, these two are going to anchor the middle position on the top two lines. There's no doubt about it. They're not going to move. We at the very least, this is the only movement they're going to have is Monahan maybe switching there, McKinnon maybe switching there, just to even out lines if things are not going well. These two are not going to move other than that. I mean, they're 1-2 center by far. Nobody's going to compete with them for those spots. And they're not going to move. Dubé is pretty solid as a third line center. You can argue that, actually you can't even put anybody else in third line center. So I think like these three are not going to move at all. I think they're pretty cemented down there. It's just who's going to move on the wing now that Lindholm and Domi, as capable as they are as playing center, I think they're just going to stay on the wing and just switch from maybe left to right, second to first line. Tkachuk and Gaudreau are pretty established on these two left wing posts as well. I don't think you're going to see them moving. Bottom six, you could see a lot more movement, but I mean, again, that's for a different conversation. All right, so let's try and get back to this. I'm sorry. So again, you're not going to see too much movement there. PK looks like this. I know, again, line chemistry on the right side says it's a -3, but this is our best defensive. I just went through all of their defensive stats. This is our best defensive players. First of all, McKinnon's our best defensive forward, obviously. Monahan's our second best defensive forward, but Lindholm and Dubé are also our next best defensive forwards, so that's why I've got them out there. Hanifin, Valimaki will start. Anderson, Manson again. They're just good together. Valimaki and Hanifin are our best defensive defensemen, despite Manson being a defensive defenseman. Hanifin and Valimaki are just so elite that they got better defensive stats. Manson and Anderson are the next best defensive defensemen, so that's why they're there. This is just based on who's got the best defensive stats of an entire team, and this is just basically the order it's in. You can argue that Monahan has better defensive stats than Elias Lindholm, but again, just trying to balance it out. We need a guy to take faceoffs as well. So again, if it's not working though, if our PK is not doing well, then we will change things around. But right now, this is what we'll start with. On paper, it looks the best. So we'll see what we've got there. All right, 5-on-3 looks like this. McKinnon again, best all-around defense forward. Monahan there as well. Defense stays the same. And then just quickly, extras look like this. 4-on-4 again, keeping the same pairings together. Tkachuk and Domi become your third pairing there. And 3-on-3 looks like it's pretty stacked in overtime. Hopefully when we get to those overtime games, shootout games, I think we're really stacked. I mean, look at our best players. Just look at their overalls on all three lines. I mean, that's insane. Shootout, it reflects that as well. We have some elite shooters here that we can put up. So, I mean, I hope that we'll win all those overtime shootout wins because we have an elite team when it comes to, limiting our bench and getting our best players out there. Goaltending looks like this. We still are running with Jordan Binnington, as our number one goalie. Slight down year last year for Binnington. Just quickly look at the stats last year. So slight down year there. Played 80 games again. Maybe a little unrealistic, but 911, 279. A little bit down from the year before when he won the Vezina Trophy with us at a 921. Obviously, we didn't make the playoffs last year. Does get the same amount of wins, but again, in way more games than he played the year before. We didn't have a good backup last year. Cam Talbot was not capable of taking the net last year. That's why Binnington played 80 games. I couldn't put anybody else in goal. We just couldn't put Talbot in. Binnington's still 86, still an elite goalie. He's plateaued at 30 years of age, but still has a number one ranks. We brought in his backup from St. Louis and Jake Allen. Again, this was the best we could get. There was some better goalies out there, but they were asking for a lot more money. To be a backup, I didn't want to pay a lot for a backup goalie. I think we got Jake Allen for 1.4 for 1 year, so it's not bad. He's a gamble. We'll see what he can do as a backup row. I don't think he's any better than Talbot was, but hopefully he'll be better in the sim than Talbot was, and hopefully we can, hopefully our team's not doing as bad, because the reason that we also played Binnington as much as we did last year is, we wanted our best chance to win. We needed to win every single game because we were so far back. Hopefully we don't put ourselves in that position this year, and we can start to throw in Jake Allen in some games, and have the ability to trust him, because again, we were just such a fragile team last year. We just really couldn't trust Talbot. So anyways, that's enough babbling about the lines. Let's get right into opening day. We got Vegas here on the 5th of October. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sim the entire preseason. Let's just sim up to opening day. Our rosters are set. Again, I didn't show you our AHL roster, but there's nothing much to show you there. A few prospects growing down there. I'll show you a little bit later. I just want to get right to the opening day. Again, there's nobody that really, needs to come in. Here's a trade. Boston gets Tatar. Islanders get Muzzin. Okay. It's a late trade right before the season. I didn't think it mattered too much here in preseason for the AHL guys. I think we're pretty established down there. I think Andrew Nielsen and Austin Zarnik, by the way, are extra players in the NHL. I forgot to show that to you. They're our 7th and 13th forward, 7th defenseman and 13th forward, all right, so teams must be cap capacity. Okay, whatever. We are in salary cap. All right, waivers. I don't think we have any more waivers to worry about. All right, now that the preseason is complete. Go to side. Okay, so you know what? I did forget to do this last year. So you know what? I'm going to go in here, do our scouting thing, because remember last year we got to the draft and it turned out that nobody was scouting the entire year for our team. Like, how bizarre is that? You get to the draft and you'd be like, all right guys, what do you have? Our scout team, we haven't done anything all year. Yeah, we haven't done a single thing, so it was a complete shot in the dark. Give me a second. I'm gonna go and fucking fix this auto scout thing and make sure that we have scouts this year that are doing their job. So give me a second here. All right, so I just went in and finished putting. I think I hired a couple more scouts, so we got like roughly 15 scouts now to work with. So hopefully they're actually doing their job this year, because again, that was just ridiculous when we got to the floor last year and realized that nobody was scouting at all year long. So I mean, again, how bizarre is that? But anyways, welcome to opening day. It is the Vegas Golden Knights and the Calgary Flames. I think we went 4-3 there in the preseason. Again, didn't matter too much, but I just wanted to see what we could do. But it is now finally opening day here in the NHL. Like I said, 5th full season. We are, like I said in the last couple episodes, one of the very few teams. I think there's only about 2 or 3 of us in the entire NHL that are listed as championship teams. A lot of hopeful teams out there. I think there's like 1 contender, and then a lot of hopeful teams and a couple rebuilding teams. It shows you there's not a lot of teams that are pegged to win a Stanley Cup this year, but we are one of those teams. We have been for the last number of years. So can we finally get it done in our 5th season? Well, find out here as we have opening day here against the Knights. You saw our opening lineup, so let's get right into Game 1 of the 2023-24 season. Vegas and Calgary. Let's simulate this one. So opening day rosters, and here we go. All right. We'll go period by period. All right, so first period here, Vegas-Calgary, home opener. And there's our first 2 goals of the season, Sam Bennett, Matthew Tkachuk beating Keith Kincaid, 2-0 Flames after 20, second period. They get their first goal, Cody Glass. We get a goal from Josh Manson, of all people. 3-1 Flames after 40, third period. And we finish it off with a goal by Dylan Dubé on the third line. And it's 4-1 Flames in the home opener. So we'll take it. Really good start to the season. Obviously, divisional game. You want to win those. 2-point night for Dubé and Bennett. So third line looking good there. Monahan as well. Let's see who played the most ice time in game number 1. McKinnon by far, obviously. Doesn't get a point in his Calgary Flames debut for Nathan McKinnon. 7 shots, though, in his Flames debut. 24 minutes. Lindholm down there. Johnny Gaudreau. And then Rasmus Sanderson +2 on that second period. So good to see all around. Just, opening game. 9-6-2 for Jordan Binnington. Oh, excuse me. That's what you want to see. I will take it. All right, Arizona, another divisional game here. And again, so early in the season, we don't know who in our division is going to be good, so we have to win every divisional game at this point. All right, here we go. Coyotes and Flames. Let's get right into it. All right, first period, Flames, Yotes, 1-1, Valimaki, Derek Stepan, second period. They get 2 goals, Christian Dvorak, and I don't even know who that is. Third period, do we fight back? Come on, Flames. No. They take it to us in the third period. Nudavara here, Christian Dvorak, Soderstrom, and again, don't know who this guy is. A lot of new guys on the Coyotes this year. So yeah, we get hammered in this one, 7-1. Not a good night all around at all. Completely opposite of opening game. -4 for McKinnon. Yikes. -4 for top line struggled. Top pairing struggled as well. We'll shake it off. Hope it's just one game. 8-1-1 for Binnington. Not a good night at all. Top line really struggled defensively. So again, that's one game, so we're gonna leave it. But again, if it's a struggle, like that top line is very offensive based. McKinnon's still a 2-way player, so I shouldn't really say that. But if it's a problem, we can switch Monahan back there. Is what I was gonna say. All right, so we got the Capitals now. So here we go. We wanted that divisional game against the Coyotes, but we'll move on here. Here's the Caps Flames. First period in Washington, nothing. Second period, 1-0 on a goal by Nick Shore. Third period, and we win it 3-0. Nathan McKinnon has scored his first 2 goals as a Calgary Flame. So there they are. Goal number 1 and goal number 2 in a Calgary Flames uniform, and it came in his 3rd game as a Flame. Yes, he's got the probably the empty netter there at the end. 3-0. The Flames will take it. We shut out the Washington Capitals, and Nathan McKinnon has scored his first 2 goals, his first 2 points as a Calgary Flame. There in his Flames debut. 2-point night there for Lindholm as well. Binnington, perfect. 28 save shutout performance. Much better bounce back performance after that spanking to the Coyotes. Let's try to keep it going here against Columbus. All right. Just rolling here. We just got to get through some games here. All right. 1-0 Jackets after 1 Cam Atkinson, second period. We battle back with a couple. McKinnon scores in back-to-back games on the power play this time. Phillips, they get one from Kevin LeBanc. Third period, do we pull away with Columbus? It's tied. Valimaki and Wolin, I'm not sure. All right, so now we get to that overtime shootout that I was talking about. Let's see if we have a good enough team in the overtime shootout to get it done. Come on, Flames. Nothing in overtime. How about the shootout? Shit, I thought we had a better team than that in the shootout. All right, Cam Atkinson scores a shootout winner. We do grab a point against an Eastern Conference team. The other point not too big to give up to an Eastern team, but you want all the points you can get at this point. Another goal for McKinnon in this one. Binnington 9-1-2, not bad. So we're now, 2-1-1 on the season. All right, we got the Hurricanes coming up here. Here we go. Dylan Dubé leads us with 4 points. All right, we want to start winning some games here. Stringing together some wins. First period here. Canes Flames 2-1 them. Monahan gets his first of the season. 2 goals from Teravainen and former Flame Dougie Hamilton. Second period. Come on, Flames. Yes, there we go. Elias Lindholm and Johnny Gaudreau's got his first goal of the season, beating former Flame David Riddick. Interesting enough. Hamilton and Riddick on the Hurricanes, of course. Third period. Come on, Flames. Do we hang on? Shit, we allow them to tie it up. Sebastian Aho ties the game up. We don't want to see that. But again, we have a chance to get that extra point against an Eastern team here in the overtime. Fuck. I mean, come on. Alright, so they get the winner. Again, we get a point out of it, but I want to be getting all the points possible right now. I know they're Eastern teams. I want to be getting points. 2-point night for Gaudreau and McKinnon. 8-3-3 there for Bainton. We might have to throw Allen into a game just to see what he's got here. Do we got any back-to-backs coming up? Not yet. Penguins have only played 2 games. What the hell? Alright, we've played like, what, 5 games? Alright, so we got Pittsburgh here. McKinnon now 5 points in 5 games. Alright, so we got Pittsburgh. Like I said, we're 2-1-2. Early look at the standings here, if you will. We sit there in 4th. Again, 6 points, just 1 point out of 1st in our division. But remember how tight it was last year. I hope it's not that tight this year. That was insane. What was that? 5 points separated 8th and 1st in our entire division by the end of the season. But anyways, let's start to try and string together some wins. We had some points in the last couple of games in overtime shootout losses. Let's try and get some wins here, though, Calgary. All right, Pittsburgh. Let's see what we got here against the Penguins. First period, nothing. Second period, 2-1 for us. Bennett and Shillington, they get a goal from Gensel. Third period, do we hang on? Fuck, again, that's the 3rd straight game an Eastern team has fought back and tied this game up to force overtime. And in both situations prior, they win the game in extra time. So we have to win this one. Come on, Calgary. Change the trend around. Come on, Flames. Yeah, we do get it. McKinnon, his first overtime winner as a Calgary Flame, comes against the Penguins, against Korpisalo. Calgary takes this one. So there we go. That's 2 points that we needed in the East. Hanifin, 2-point night. McKinnon, overtime winner. And 9-2-9. Really good night there for Binghamton in a win there against the Pittsburgh Penguins. All right. Ottawa Senators next. A lot of Eastern teams here in the first month of our season. All right, so Central Scouting, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully our scouts are doing their job. I don't see any back-to-back games coming up yet in this month. I want to get Jake Allen in a game, but right now Binghamton's playing all right, so we'll leave him in goal. Let's just keep rolling. And again, lines right now, it's kind of early, too early to kind of fix lines around, see how guys are doing. Still need a bigger sample of games here. All right, Flames and Senators, excuse me. Goals from McKinnon and Anderson. Beanie Markstrom, 2-0 Flames. We get another one, but they get 2. We get a goal from Matthew Tkachuk there, 3-2. Do we hang on in the third? Come on, Calgary. Yeah, we do. Valimaki and Nathan McKinnon again. That's another 2-goal game for Nathan McKinnon. Very early on, he's starting to show exactly why we brought him into our team. He is really starting to put us over the top here. Another 2-goal night for McKinnon. 2-point night for Hanifin Bennett. 2-point night for Johnny Gaudreau. 9-3-5 for Jordan Binghamton. Again, another really good night there. So, yeah, I know. Again, I know it's early, but 8 points in 7 games. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Nathan McKinnon. Really, again, really compare him to Kawhi Leonard, if you will. Again, a long way to go before he gets to even that status. But you know, the way he comes into our team, the way our team was prior, it just reminds me a lot of that. All right, so let's keep going here against the Caps. 4-1-2. Now we are looking a little bit better. Second in our division, there are 10 points, as you can see. All right, let's see if we can keep the winning going in the East on our massive Eastern Conference swing here. All right, first period, Flames and Caps 2-0. We'll take it. Hanifin and Tkachuk, second period. They get 2, but we get another one from Shillington. Third period, do we hang on? Yeah, we do. We'll hang on for the 3-2 win. I won't even look at the stats. I like that one. All right, let's go. All right, so for the first time, Nathan McKinnon makes his return back to Colorado. He's got 8 points in 8 games prior, and he is making his return back to Colorado, where he's played his entire career. So this is going to be an emotional night for number 29 of the Calgary Flames. But he is returning back to the Pepsi Center for the first time, you know, as a member now of the Calgary Flames. So this will be another one of those emotional video tributes. Won a Stanley Cup, won a Conn Smythe Trophy there, blah, blah, blah. Probably won a Hart Trophy at some point. Probably won a lot there, but he is making his return back to Colorado. Let's see if he has a big game for the Flames in his return back. This is going to be fun. I don't want to play the game. Come on. Exit. All right, here we go. Want to sim it. Oh my God! I clicked the down button at the same time as I clicked the X. Sorry. All right, here we go. Simulate. I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm so excited for the return of Nathan McKinnon to Colorado. All right, here we go. First period in the Pepsi Center in the return. Flames and Avalanche, and they get the first 3 goals. Actually, we get the first goal from Johnny Gaudreau, but then they scored 3 straight to kind of spoil the return here of Nathan MacKinnon. Come on, Calgary. Fight back in the second period here. Here we go. Second period, we do get another goal from Johnny Gaudreau. Can we at least tie it here? If not, get the lead here in the third period. Come on, Flames. Big third period here. Big third period. Fuck. They get 2 more. Cassian and Byram. Yeah, so that will do it. Unfortunately, we do not win in McKinnon's return to the Pepsi Center. They spoil it for us. He does get a point. He does get an assist in his return in 20 minutes of ice time. 2 goals for Johnny Gaudreau tonight, but it's not enough. Flames go 800 there for Binghamton. Flames lose this one. Don't want to see that. 5-2 loss. You know what? Let's throw in Jake Allen here against the Rangers. Not the best night there for Binghamton against the Avalanche. Let's get Allen into a game. I just want to see what we have in him. Start getting him a little bit of games here just to see. He can be a more reliable backup than Talbot was last year. Because I wouldn't mind cutting down some of the games there for Jordan Binghamton as well. All right, because again, 80 games, a little unrealistic there. So let's throw Allen for a game here against the Rangers and see what he's got here. So we'll simulate. 5-2-2. We are here in the first month. All right, first period, Rangers Flames. 2-0 Calgary start this one. Gaudreau, Valimaki, second period. 3-0 goal from Valimaki. Short-handed, by the way. Third period. All right, we hang on. Ooh, that was a scary period. Sean Monahan scores the game-winning goal. But they get 3 goals in this period and almost tied this game up. Brock Nelson twice. Mika Zibanejad as well. And that will obviously be the game winner for Sean Monahan. So we'll take it. Let's go here. We'll just go ahead on this one. All right, 11 points there for 10 games for Nathan MacKinnon. We'll take the 4-3 win. So not bad. I wanted to go. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go in and look at Jake Allen's stats. I didn't do that. Let's throw Binghamton back in. Either way, he played okay till that third period. He'll get another game here later. I just wanted to see what he has here. Let's get Binghamton back in. First win is a Calgary Flame for Jake Allen. All right, big divisional game. We got the Vegas Golden Knights again, who we started off the season against. We're now first in our division, but tied with Edmonton, San Jose. You can see it's really tight. Anaheim in there as well. A very tight swing there. But let's see if we can stay atop our division with a big divisional game here against the Golden Knights. Like I said, at this point, so early in the season, we got to be winning every divisional game possible here. So here we go, first period. When we get to it. All right, here we go. First period, 1-0 for them. Cody Glass, second period. Come on, Flames. Shit. 2-0 for them. We need a huge third period. Come on, Calgary. We can fight back here. Come on. Fuck, it's not enough. We do get a goal. Domi, his first goal of the season. But they get goals from Marchessault and Ristolainen. All right, that's a big divisional loss there that you don't want to see. Who struggled in this one? Valimaki Anderson -2. 875 for Binghamton. All right. Got to find a way to win those divisional games. See, that sunk us by a couple spots in the standings. Let's keep it going here. We're going to see how much we can roll here against Carolina here. And then we'll eventually stop this episode here pretty soon. Maybe we want to get like 15 or 20 games in and then give ourselves a good sample of the first half of the season. All right, so Niederreiter. We get a goal from Matthew Tkachuk against Riddick. 2 games against the Hurricanes here in a matter of how many days, excuse me. Big third period here. Come on, Calgary. We tie this one up. Aho twice. Hanifin and Lindholm, the former Hurricanes, scoring against the former team. So we're going to overtime against Carolina. Come on, Calgary. And how about in the shootout? Yes, we get in the shootout. Sean Monahan beating his former friend and netminder in David Riddick. We'll take it. We'll take the shootout win. 4-3 against an Eastern team. McKinnon, another 2-point night. Had 2-point night for Noah Hanifin against his former team. And a Binghamton goes 8-9-3 against the Hurricanes there in the shootout. 4-3 win. All right, let's keep going here. Philly. Like I said, I just want to get up to we'll get up to 20 games here, and then we'll stop this episode here. I just want to get a good sample here to start the season. All right, Philly. I can't believe how many Eastern teams we're facing here in the first, couple months of the season. All right, goal from Sean Monahan there. Goals from Anderson and Shore And a goal for Manson will carry us to a 4-1 win against the Philadelphia Flyers. Like that one. All right, 2-point night there for McKinnon, Lindholm, and Josh Manson. 9-6-8. Much better night there for Binghamton, getting back to his old self. We haven't had a back-to-back once this season either. I was going to put Allen in if we had a back-to-back, but I have not had any of those yet. So we'll just continue rolling here. We got the Columbus Blue Jackets. Come on. All right. 1-0 for them. Claude Giroux. He was one of the free agents this year. Does go to Columbus, it looks like. So after spending his entire career with Philly, he's now a member of the Blue Jackets. 1-0 for the Jackets. Second period. Yes, big period there. Hanifin and McKinnon for the Flames. And third period, do we hang on? Come on, Calgary. Fuck, again, they tie it up. Claude Giroux, Tyler Bertuzzi. We get a goal from Sam Bennett. This is forcing overtime against another Eastern Conference team. Do we get that extra point? Come on, Calgary. Fuck, they get it. All right, Seth Jones. We do get a point out of this one, but would have liked to see that second point coming our way. But again, that extra point going to an Eastern team. 2-point night once again for McKinnon, Hanifin, Johnny Gaudreau. And I'll look at the stats after, but I'm right now just judging by it. I think I'm liking the way our top two lines are with McKinnon, with Gaudreau, and Monahan on that second line. I don't think we really need to touch it too much. Compared to last year where they just weren't producing to where they should be, right now I'm liking it. I mean, 17 points in 14 games right now for McKinnon is exactly what we needed out of him. So let's keep going here. Let's actually go 15 games. So we'll play one more game here, and then we'll stop this episode. I don't know how long it's been running, but we'll stop it, and then we'll go from 15 games. Because we're about halfway through, or not, I guess not halfway through November, but close to halfway through. So here we go. Let's go Chicago, and then we'll stop this one. 2-0. Kane to Brinkett for them. We get a goal from Lindholm at third period. We do battle back and tie it up. McKinnon and Monahan. They get one from Binghamton, from DeBrincat on Binghamton. Excuse me. Do we get that extra point here in overtime? We need it. We need it. We need it. Come on. How about in a shootout? We need it. Fuck. All right. Patrick Kane gets a shootout winner. We do steal a point. Probably in a game where it looked like we weren't going to get one. But again, I want that extra point in these games, you guys. 2-point night there for Anderson. 9-1-7 for Binghamton. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just get to 20 games here. Let's keep it going here against the Jets. We do sit now at 20 points first in our division. Again, tied with the Vegas Golden Knights. You know, if we would have won that game against Vegas, that most recent one, we'd be ahead of them right now. All right, Jets, Flames. Oh, 3-0 for the Jets. We do get a goal here from Kachuk. Do we battle back on the third? Not enough there. 5-1 loss to the Jets. You don't like to see that. 8-2-6 there for Binghamton. Here's a back-to-back. Let's quickly throw in Jake Allen against the Stars. Doing this really quickly because I just want to get to 20 games and stop this episode, and then we will. Then we'll get a better gauge of where everybody sits. Like we'll look at our team stats, you know, at the start of the next episode, and we'll look at our player stats and see what we've got here. So here, let's just get this simming done. But yeah, we can see, you know, how guys are producing, how our team's doing on special teams, and yada yada, and we have to make changes. You know, 20 games in will give us a good sample size to work with. You know, see how we stack up. So here we go. Stars Flames, Jake Allen making his second career start for Calgary. Shore scores for us. Second period, nothing. Third period, come on Calgary, big third period. Fuck. All right. Johnny Gaudreau scores, but then they score 2 back-to-back goals to not only tie it but win the game in regulation. We don't even get a point out of this one. So not a good performance there for Jake Allen. 2-point night there for Hanifin. 8-9-3. Could have been slightly better for Allen, so we'll throw Binghamton back in goal here. Oh my god. All right, so we got Binghamton. Here's a big divisional game against San Jose, and then we will stop it in the next couple of games here. But let's get this big divisional game out of the way here. We need this one. We really need these divisional games. I know it's early, but we need these divisional games. I mean, our standings in our division are so tight. And you saw what it came down to last year. We have to win these divisional games. Come on, Calgary. First period, nothing. Second period, come on, Flames. Fuck's sakes, come on, Calgary. Timu Maya, Anton Stroman, excuse me. We need a huge third period. 3 straight in this period, Calgary. Come on, come on. Fucking kidding me. Oliver Shillington, the only goal. We need those divisional games, you... 2-1 loss. I mean... in regulation to a divisional opponent, and that has sunk us. We're now 6th in our division. I mean, we were first like 2 games ago, but again, I mean, our division's separated by like 4 points right now. We got to start winning some games here. All right, so we got the Avalanche again. This time, this one is in Calgary. McKinnon's second game against his former team. Here we go. First period, 3 straight goals from the Avalanche. Rantanen, Jost, and Kerfoot. Holy fuck. Lindholm scores. Jost. Yeah, not a good night all around. Balotker, Valimaki, they get one from Hornquist. Yeah, I mean, we need these games. That's another loss to McKinnon's former team there. No points in this one for McKinnon through 23 minutes of ice time. 8-1-5 for Allen. Or for Binghamton, excuse me. Back-to-back losses against the Western Conference. That is hurting us. We're now down to 7th in our division again. Holy fuck. I mean, that just shows you how tight our division is because we went from 1st to 7th just like that. All right. One more game here, and then we're going to stop the sim. Let's try and get 2 points here against the Panthers and just somewhat get back to the top of our division here. All right. We need these 2 points against Florida. All right, here we go. First period, nothing. Second period, fucking goal from Owen Tippett. Third period, come on, Calgary. Where are you? Show up, Calgary. All right, we tied up Hannafin. We need this extra point in overtime. Come on, Flames. Extra point, extra point. Come on, in the shootout. Come on. Fucking rights. There we go. Monahan, McKinnon. All right. So fucking pissed because, I mean, I don't know. We'll stop the sim here. 9-7-4 in the first 20 games. Could have been better. There's some divisional losses in there that really hurt us. Again, division's tight, so I won't look at it too much. But we'll stop this episode here. Still like what I'm seeing there. Look at that. 20 points in 20 games from Nathan McKinnon. Exactly why we went and got this guy. We'll look at this more in depth in the next episode, but I'm liking so far what I'm seeing there from our top units, and then we'll look at our team stats as well. 14 points there for Gaudreau, 12 points for Monahan, but again, McKinnon leading the way with 20 points. So we'll look at that a little bit more in depth in the next episode. That will do it for the end of this episode, episode 35. We will start the sim in the next episode with the Dallas Stars, and we'll get through as much simming as we can in the next episode. But that will do it. Not a bad start to the season. Could be better, but definitely not as bad as last year. This time last year, I think we were, this is when we really started sinking. This is almost when we had to fire a coach. We're almost on the 1-year anniversary of firing our entire coaching staff. A little bit of a better year for the Flames. At least it's looking to be. Anyways, we will stop this episode here. 9-7-4 through the first 20 games for episode number 35.